I am a 67-year-old man with cancer. Because of damage to my spine, my physical activities are extremely limited. When I was told I had 2-3 years to live, I thought about a bucket list. Because I lived an incredibly full life, which included taking many risks. I couldn't think of much I hadn't done which I wanted to do before I died. The only thing that came to mind was wanting to learn how to play poker. I threw myself into it, studying for 6 months before I played a hand. Now, thanks to monthly chemotherapy and good luck, 6 years later, I make a small side income playing 200 NL on Ignition. We have a better than average retirement savings, and it occurred to me that I could take a shot at 500 NL. Even with a sufficient bankroll, however, bluff jamming the river and losing stings at that stake. I decided that, if I was serious about moving up, I might want some coaching to fix my leaks and give me some confidence. I am a big fan of Pete Clarke and Carrot Poker. The first poker course I bought was his introductory course on Run It Once. Since then, I have bought a couple courses on Carrot Poker School, focusing my studies on his mass data-informed, exploitative courses. Beside the brilliant practicality of his instruction, I also always appreciated his dry sense of humor. I bought 10 hours of coaching from him after he agreed to take me on as a student. I wish I had investigated the exchange rate before pushing the purchase button. Ouch. My timing couldn't have been worse, not only because of global economics. My household was in an uproar. We are moving from Portland, Maine to Missoula, Montana. My wife's father just died. My daughter just graduated from college. My health took a turn for the worse, not too serious at this point. My wife confronted me with a serious marital issue, partly having to do with taking care of me on her own for 8 years. Prior to purchasing my lessons, I was averaging 34 big blinds per 100 for the first 6 months of the year. I was building my deposit online, which I generally cash out to put money in our household savings when it grows from $400 at 10 NL to $5,000 at 200 NL. What followed was a lesson in the mental game. I started playing like an idiot. I couldn't concentrate. I reacted impulsively to invisible motives. I lost a lot of money quickly. In our second meeting, when Pete reviewed my hands, he was chagrined, and I was embarrassed. He didn't say, "You don't deserve to play the game," but he could have. Instead, he asked me to construct a list of absolutely forbidden moves, things which, even when playing my F game, I should never do. That list follows. List of bright line rules. What are the things that are unacceptable to us even when playing our worst game? Making unsupported/egotistical/emotional assumptions. Solid villain categorization requires 2+ data points. Not looking to the small blind and big blind before acting. Always expand or contract one's range according to the tendencies of players at table, calling pre-flop 3-bet without positive EV, for example ace-ace, king-king, ace-king, or only, when calling is justified by bet size and/or a very good read. Playing reverse implied odds hands out of position. Playing weak offsuit high cards from under the gun or the hijack. Post-flop bluff catching on a super wet and connected board after villain makes a big turn bet. Playing too fast. Always think from starting range to landing range of villain. Calling any unexpected post-flop aggression. Don't make ego-driven emotional decisions based on absolute hand strength. Calling a post-flop check raise without the nuts or the potential nuts in a hand is almost always a mistake. Don't ignore the beluga theorem. Bluffing without sufficient fold equity. If villain calls big bet on turn, hero almost always lacks sufficient fold equity to bluff river. Any GTO generalization about the spot, for example calling because I am at the top of my range or hand strength of bluff catcher. Make sure you understand villain, ranges, and relative hand strengths. Calling a large turn bet with a medium strength hand on a dry board. I have since mostly corrected these leaks. I have calmed down. I have straightened things with my wife, started therapy, and attended some Al-Anon meetings. Most of my focus has returned. Yesterday, I made close to 3.5 buy-ins, and today, almost 1.5 buy-ins. My losing sessions are less dramatic. My winning sessions more consistent. Pete took a vacation. Pete and I agreed to meet again in September. When we do, I want to catalog the lessons I learn and the progress I make. The goals are to play better poker and gain more confidence. Let's go!